Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Swami Jyotirmayananda Society, a journey to self-realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings and to enjoy daily satsang. We are currently exploring Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Commentaries by my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. We are currently on chapter number 12, also known as Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of devotion. And today we are starting from shloka number 14. Lord Krishna continues to guide Arjuna on the beautiful qualifications of a devotee and how he values them so much. Santuष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्य अर्पितमनो बुद्धिर् यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः. He who is ever contented, centered in me, self controlled, possessed of firm resolve, with his mind and intellect dedicated to me, such a devotee is dear to me. So now God is giving us his expectations from his devotees, what qualifications, what qualities, what attributes they should have. One who is totally contented. Why? Because most people are not contented. They always, it's never enough. They're always wanting more and more because the desires are endless. So rare is the soul who is contented and who is centered in God, and one who has controlled his senses, one who is self controlled, meaning no other external control. He himself controls his desires, and when he makes a decision, he makes it come true. He possesses a firm resolve, and with his mind and intellect both are dedicated to God. Normally the mind is turbulent like a monkey, and the intellect runs towards worldly things because of the rajas qualification, quality, guna. But once we start getting into spirituality, sattva, purity, then even the intellect becomes purified. And once the intellect is purified, the mind listens to the intellect and the senses are easily controlled. Otherwise it is very difficult, as we all know that these senses are very turbulent and they can create great havoc. So constant vigilance is required, and God says such a devotee who is working on these qualifications is very dear to me. Shloka number 15. Yasmano dvijate loko lokano dvijate cha yaha harshamarsh bhayo dvairge mukto yah sa cha me priyaha. He by whom the world is not agitated and who cannot be agitated by the world, who is free from envy, fear, joy, and anxiety, he is indeed dear to me. So, such a devotee who doesn't create trouble to the world, doesn't cause trouble, and is not troubled by the world, which means he knows all these things are like waves in the ocean, they are countless and transient. So, he is not impacted, he doesn't get agitated easily, and he doesn't get overly excited during prosperity, and he doesn't have any jealousy or fear or anxiety. He is indeed dear to me. This is what God Krishna guides us. Shloka number 16. अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारंभ परित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः. He who is without expectation, pure in body and mind, skilled in spiritual movement, indifferent to joys and sorrows, without anxiety, who has renounced all his karmic involvements, such a devotee is dear to me. So, if we have to become a devotee, we should try to build all these qualifications, which clearly cannot be done in a day. It takes dedication, time, serious self effort. But God is giving us everything that good devotees should have. So they should not have expectations. When you do something, do it in a selfless manner, and one who is pure not only in the body but also in the mind, meaning think pure thoughts, do pure deeds, etc. And one who is skilled, yoga karmasu kaushalam, one who is very skilled in whatever he does, and he is uh, above joys and sorrows. He is indifferent to them. They come and he witnesses them, but he doesn't get overly involved, and he doesn't have anxiety. Most people struggle from stress and anxiety. He doesn't, because he trusts in God's plan. So who has renounced all his karmic involvements, basically he has given up the reaction. Karmas will come and they will then extinguish. But if we get more involved, if we resist them, if we get angry, then the karma intensifies. But if we just let it do its job and then move away, we have purged that karma properly. So such are those devotees. Such devotees are dear to God. Next shloka number 17. Yo na rishyati na dveshti na shochati na kankshati shubha shubha parityagi bhakti manyah same priyah. He who neither rejoices nor grieves, nor hates nor expects, renouncing good and evil, intently devout, such a devotee is dear to me. So God is saying these devotees are beyond the dualities of adversity and prosperity, joy and sorrow, like and dislike, hate and love. Above these dualities, such a devotee has truly understood the deep meaning of God, and such a devotee therefore is close to God. श्लोक 18. समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानपमानयोः शीत ओष्ण सुख दुःखेषु समः संगवर्जितः. He who is alike to friend and foe, as well as to honor and insult, who remains balanced in heat and cold, to whom pleasure and pain are alike, and who is devoid of attachments, such a yogi is dear to me. Next shloka number 19. Tulya nindastuttormoni santushto yena kenachit aniketah sthiramatir bhakti man me priyo naraha. He to whom praise and censure are alike, who is reflective, content with everything, without a dwelling place, who is endowed with a steady mind and is full of devotion, such a devotee is dear to me. So, God has given us so many different qualifications, so many attributes that we need to measure ourselves against to see where we stack up against God's expectations. Meaning, do we get agitated when somebody insults us? And if not, if we are even keel whether somebody praises us or insults us, then we are getting up to the mark of God's expectations. One who is reflective, who looks at everything as transient, and he doesn't even need a dwelling place. He becomes a pilgrimage center. Wherever he goes, that's where his home becomes. Who is endowed with a steady mind, his mind doesn't waver too much, he is full of bliss and devotion. Such a devotee is dear to God. Next shloka, which is the last shloka of this chapter. This is a short chapter, only 20 shlokas, but so loving and so profound. In the final shloka, he says, Ye tu धर्म्यामृतमिदं योक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धानामत्परमा भक्तास्ते अतीव मे प्रियाः. Those who follow with devotion the nectar of dharma or spiritual wisdom set forth above in all the qualifications that God has given. He is endowed with faith and devotion, who regards me as their supreme goal. Such devotees are extremely dear to me. So here God concludes that review all these qualifications that I have given you, and these are all the things I personally like. God is giving his preferences. So if we pay attention, and then we should refer to these shlokas again and again, because that's how it will build the seed, the sprout of devotion within. So, with this, we have concluded chapter number 12. Let us join our hands in gratitude to Lord Krishna. Om Tat Sadati Srimad Gita Su Upnishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Bhakti Yogo Namoho Dvadasho Adhyayah Sampurnam. Boliye Shri Bhagwan Shri Krishna ki Jai. Glory to Lord Krishna. Om Tat Sat. Thus, in the Upanishad of the Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge of Supreme Brahman, the scripture of yoga, ends the 12th chapter entitled The Yoga of Devotion, Bhakti Yoga. Jai Shri Krishna. Glory to Lord Krishna. So let's start chapter 13 today. We'll just read the summary and then conclude the satsang. Chapter 13 is known as Kshetra Kshetragya Vibhaga Yoga, the yoga of distinction between the field and the knower of the field. When a yogi develops a keen insight into the fact that his soul is different from his body, he becomes more integrated in his personality. In other words, he becomes a better karma yogi, a better bhakti yogi, and a better jnana yogi. This is the main theme of this chapter. The soul in the state of ignorance is involved in sowing seeds of good and evil karmas in the field of matter, and consequently reaps the harvest of those karmic entanglements. In the state of enlightenment, however, it discovers its identity with the absolute self and becomes liberated from the bondage of repeated births and deaths. So, a beautiful summary indeed, and we will enjoy this chapter from shloka number 1 in tomorrow's satsang. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Hari Om Tat Sat.